Hi there, welcome back, and here we go again. It was pointed out to me when I was streaming last Thursday night, so when this deck was requested, and I did cover Cosmic Spiderman last week. So I covered all of the heroes of the new Spider-Man set, and was I ever going to look at the villains? And if I would, can I use this card as the commander? So responsive to the people who come and play with me on MTGO. There's a link down below on Twitch. You can come and see me there and join in the game when I'm streaming. I had to go and look at Doctor Octopus Master Planner today, or if you're playing on MTGO like I will be, Neach, Pinnacle, Pariah. 5 blue and black for a 4/8 human scientist villain. Other villains you control get +2/+2. Your maximum hand size is 8. And at the beginning of your end step, if you have fewer than 8 cards in your hand, draw cards equal to the difference. Yeah. This is actually a really good one. Really expensive, I must admit. 7 mana for a legendary creature, and the environments we see on Magic Online is a little bit a lot. That was really bad English. It's a little bit high, but the ability for whichever one you're playing to basically draw you cards at the beginning of your end step each turn can't really be ignored. And then pumping up all your other creatures, because it is kind of villain typal today, is something else as well. So here we go. Here's what today's deck for Doc Ock or Neach look like. So we're starting off with a bit of a cheat, because Changeling Outcasts, and I did think you can, I'll just point this out now, you can play as many shapeshifters as you want in this deck if you want to change the creature base round, because they are all villains, because of every creature type. Therefore, this is a 1 mana 3/3 when you've got the Doc in play that can't block or be blocked. So you can always get through for lightning bolt damage if you want to put it that way. We had to have Lady Octopus in, the Inspired Inventor. Whenever you draw your first or second card each turn, put an Ingenuity counter on the Lady Octopus, and then you may cast an artifact spell from your hand with mana value less than the number of Ingenuity counters on her. Going to come back to her separately, as do a whole video about her in the future. But for now, she's just sitting here because she's a villain and she fits in nicely with our theme for today. Common Crook is also in. When it dies, you get a treasure token, 2/2 for 2. That's fine. And we had to have the Flying Octobot in. Whenever another villain you control enters, put a +1/+1 counter on this creature. Only triggers once a turn, but it is a flyer for 2 mana that's going to get big quite quickly, especially when we've got things like, Hydro Man, Fluid Felon coming in. Whenever you cast a blue spell, if Hydro Man is a creature, it gets +1/+1 until the end of the turn. But at the beginning of your end step, untap the Hydro Man, and until your next turn, he basically becomes a island. That's fine by me. Merciless Enforcers is just fun, has lifelink, and then you can start pinging people. This creature deals 1 damage to each opponent for 3 and a black, so you can gain 3 life a turn by paying 4 mana. Go with that plan. Metallic Mimic makes things even better. You name, obviously, villain when it comes into play, and they all come in a little bit bigger with a +1/+1 counter. Morlun, Devourer of Spiders, or I can't remember what I think it's Luis. I know LSV's been going mad about it on his stream. Named after him in the alternate set. But comes into play, 2/1 with lifelink, enters with all the X +1/+1 counters on it, and when it enters, it deals X damage to target opponent. Another way of gaining some life. Bloodline Pretender comes in whenever choose villains, obviously, another villain at the end of the day. Whenever another creature with the chosen type enters, you get put a +1/+1 counter on here. Mechanical Mobster is one of the more random villains in the set. When this creature enters, exile ups 1 target card from a graveyard, and then you get to connive a creature. So that's fine for 3 mana. Prowler, Clawed Thief is also in with the Menace. Whenever a villain you control enters, Prowler connives. Menace makes him fairly hard to block as well. Bear that in mind. I like this one. Swarm, Being of Bees is just fun. Flash, Flying, Mayhem for black. So if you had to discard, you just pay black to bring it back in from your graveyard to play, and using the numeral time or rules. Only in your turn, though. Bear that in mind, though. Tombstone, Career Criminal also makes an appearance. Return target villain card from your graveyard to your hand, and then it cuts the cost of all our villain spells down. So like this one a lot. Venomized Cat is also in as well. When its creature enters, you get to mill 2 cards. That's fine, but it's 2/3 for Death Touch for 3 mana, so we'll cope with the stats. Beetle, Legacy Criminal is also in. Exile this card from your graveyard. Put a +1/+1 counter on target creature, and it gains flying until the end of turn. So a little bit of boost that may get you through for that last little bit of damage you need. From there, Chameleon, Master of Disguise comes in, enters a copy of any creature except his name is Chameleon, Master of Disguise. So, copy anything you want. And if you've been forced to discard it during your turn somehow, you get to play it for 2 in a blue. Morbius, the living vampire, had to be here, didn't it? Flying, Vigilance, Lifelink, 3/1. Exile this card from your graveyard. Look at the top 3 cards of your library. Put 1 in the hand, the rest in the bottom of your library in any order. So, Morbius comes in, hopefully does some damage. Then when he dies off, has a secondary effect, which helps. Mysterio, Master of Illusion, enters 3/3 illusionary villain creature token for each non-token villain you control. When this dies, you exile all the tokens. But wow, that can give you a whole boost of power on the board if you need it. Scorpion, Seething Strike is also in. Beginning of your end step. If your creature died this turn, target creature you control connives. 3/3 Death Touch for 4 mana. Yeah, right then, we'll go with it. Solemn Sim, just to fix our land. Not a villain, not anything else, just to fix our land. Black Cat, Cunning Thief, looks at the top 9 cards of our library, exile of target opponent's library, exile 2 of them face down, put the rest on the bottom of the order. Play the cards anytime you want to and use mana of any colour. The other version of Doctor Octopus is in, Doc Ock, the Sinister Scientist. As long as there are 8 or more cards in your graveyard, base power and toughness of 8/8, and as long as we control another villain, this guy gets hexproof. So, yay. Venom Unleashed. Death Touch, exile the card from the graveyard if we need to at some stage. 2/1/1 counters on a creature and it gains Death Touch. The other version of Venom, Eddie Brock, is also in. Now, I don't think you'll be able to get this one on MTGO. My understanding is that these cards aren't coming, but it needs to be included here. So, Menace, whenever another creature dies, put +1/+1 counter on Venom. If that creature was a villain, draw a card. If you're playing at paper, pick this up, play it in this deck. If you're playing on Magic Online, probably another land. I don't think these are coming yet, but we will see. So I don't think they've got alternate versions yet from everything I've read. If I'm wrong, please let me know in the comments down below. I'd love to know, but I can't find any alternate names for them anywhere, so I don't think they're coming, which is a shame. So just bear that in mind as you're thinking about playing this on MTGO or Arena. And finally, Vulture, Scheming Scavenger, is also in. When it attacks other villains you control, gain flying until the end of turn. Yeah, okay, then everything's a villain with one exception. Sorceries, well, we had to have some in here. Preordained, Toxic Deluge to control the board, Windfall to basically go and shuffle our hand, well, discard our hand. It's nice if we can do this with the Mayhem creatures in play. We can play them because they've been discarded this turn, and then draw a whole load of cards. Damnation's here to help us control the board. Same with Living Death and Patriarch's Bidding. Now, out of the two, I prefer the Bidding because you can choose villain as a creature type, and hopefully you're not playing any other type or decks to get absolutely owned by them. But just bear it in mind, Living Death is just the same thing. It's just that it does for everyone without choosing the creature type. So, yeah. But I like the Bidding. It's here. Venom's Hunger, just a nice little kill spell at sorcery speed. Destroy target creature, we gain 2 life. It will always cost us 3 with this deck as long as we've got a creature in play that isn't Solemn Sim. Because I'm playing the villain deck, the Behold the Sinister 6 had to be in as well to return up to 6 target creature cards with different names from your graveyard to the battlefield, which is just fine and dandy. And then again, Kindred Dominance, another way of choose a creature type, you choose villains, and hopefully you destroy everything else in play if everything is going in your way. Instance, well, Brainstorm, opt to do a little bit of sort of like going through your deck, finding what you need. Control with Arcane Denial, Counter Spell. Cyclonic Rift is a game changer, hence why it's in here. That's what's popped this deck up to bracket 3, if I remember correctly. Infernal Grasp for some more controlling the board. Mana Drain, more counters. And the Spots Portal. Put target creature on the bottom of its owner's library. You lose 2 life unless you control a villain. Gets rid of that annoying big thing that might have been then about to kill you. So that's quite nice, this one. Artifacts, well, the Elixir is here just to shuffle everything back in when it goes pear-shaped. Ramp with the Soul Ring, Arcane Signet, Charcoal Diamond, Demir Signet, Felwar Stone. The Jet Medallion and the Sapphire Medallion are both in as well to help with the ramp, along with Mind Stone, Sky Diamond, Talisman of Donaments, Thought Vessel, and then because we are calling it, and I've put... Oh, that's bad. Yeah. You didn't notice the thing that said 2, did you? No, that's good. Right, okay. Hell's Horns in, choose villains, obviously. Urza's Incubator, you choose villains again. And then there is only one Maskwood Nexus in the deck. There was 2 a second ago. You might have noticed I paused the video and just went in and changed it. Maskwood Nexus is nice. We can get the Shapeshifters. They are villains. You know, that is fine. Yeah, if you've got this in play, it does actually mean Solemn Sim's also a villain, just so you're clear on that side of things. There is only one in the deck, not trying to cheat in Commander, I promise. Enchantments, well, Propaganda's in to help us slow down and build up to the point where we can get Doc Ock in play. Rhystic Study helps us draw the cards. Kindred Discovery lets us draw cards when we get villains coming into play. And because it's too much fun not to have in here, I mean, how many times have we seen villains in the Spider-Man comic book, copy good guys? Quite often. So Imposter Syndrome seems like a no-brainer. Especially since it means all the copies, the tokens aren't legendary. It makes perfect sense to me, so that makes good fun. 38 lands in the deck. I kept it high because of Doc Octopus being in here. Command Beacon, just so we can get around any of the commander taxes if the Doc's been killed off. Command Tower, Contaminated Aquifer, you name it, all the black and blue lands are in here all the way through. I will point out we are playing Reliquary Tower in case we do get stuck at some stage, and we are playing Temple of the False God today. One card I will point out that people may forget about would be Three Tree City. There it is. Nope, come on, stay. Thank you. Right, there you go. Because you choose villains and you get a whole load of mana. Whilst we'll play it. I have seen some versions online where I was sort of like digging around, trying to get some thoughts together, where they're playing Cabal, Coffers. Don't see the point in it. I don't think you've got enough black mana symbols in play at any one time, but Three Tree City is a no-brainer in this deck. And that's it. That is my take today on Doc Octopus or Neach, depending which one you want to play. Again, I was actually a little bit disappointed when I was going through it. So there wasn't quite as many villains as I thought there would be in blue-black. So that's why there's a bit of a few random choices in here, I'll be honest. There was one Spider-Man card as well. And I decided it's a bit weird playing a Spider-Man in a villain's deck. So I ignored it because I couldn't quite remember the lore. And I didn't want any people telling me that I'd got the lore wrong. So I ignored it. So you can look at that one there as well. But I think it's going to be a fun one to play. Let me know in the comments down below what I should have included, what I could have added in, what you'd like to see me play. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, please hit the share button, and if you've got any left, please hit the cheer button. Help me beat that YouTube algorithm, because we're getting there. We're getting closer to 1,000 subscribers now, so the more the merrier. If you want to see me play Doc Ock, there's a link down below to Twitch. You can come and give me a follow over there. There's 301 people there. We end up with about 20, 30 people watching a stream a night, so feel free to come and join in. And yeah, I'll be back tomorrow with, probably the more complicated deck that I've done so far from Spider-Man. So, and it isn't a good guy, it's a bad guy as well. So, I'll see you later. Have a good one. Bye-bye.